Guys, all the cars that you see in these videos are for sale on my website, www.woodsandbarclay.com. Enjoy the video. Hey everyone, welcome back to the series on the 1984 Orient Red wagon. And today we're going to do a lot of small items. The headlight bezels, we're going to clean the fuel gauge level sender in the tank. We're going to do a new cruise control module. I think there's a couple other things. So let's go ahead and dive in. All right, the first thing I want to look at today are the original headlight bezels. Now, the front grille is beautiful, excellent condition. That's, original to the car. But over here, I see, there's a little crack right there in the headlight bezel. There's some various pitting. Looks like a little crack there. Oh, what's over here? Yeah, got like a little nick here. So these are just original to the car. So what I was able to acquire, and guys, these are getting harder and harder to find. The trick with headlight bezels is you have to match the aging. So for example, if I find a left one, but then I find a right one, see how they faded at different rates? So you got to find them, but then you have to match them up with the correct fading or the correct shades. And none of these match each other. So I found out in California, I contacted a gentleman that supplies parts to me, and I found a beautiful set. Check that out. Original Bosch, made in Germany. And like I said, it's getting so hard to find these, but let's go ahead and get these on the car. We'll go ahead and start on the passenger side here. Now, most people would, consider this one extremely nice. But I like to take the cars to the highest possible level that I can. And the little crack here and here, it doesn't cut it for me. Okay, there we go. They have these there's 3 studs on the back there, 1 on the top, 2 on the bottom. So let's get the rest of these off. And once you get all 3 of those off, this bezel will just slide right out of here, just like that. And here is the beautiful new old stock one. That's guys, that's as good as it gets. Now, you can get these in the aftermarket, but they don't say Bosch made in Germany. So I like to go 100% original when I can. Sometimes I have to use the aftermarket. It just depends on when these pop up for sale. Okay, there we go. Check that out. Flawless. Perfect headlight bezels. All right, let's go ahead and move to the cruise control module. So I just got a shipment of modules in from Beckman Technologies. And I think, here is our 84 module. There's the part number 002-545-9132. Beckman Technologies rebuilds them. You basically send them the core, and our core is actually in the car. And this one was rebuilt and ready to install. So let's get that in there. Okay, so keep in mind, we're still waiting on the wood trim to come back from Madeira. So I have everything disassembled in here. But we can go ahead and start down here on the cruise control module. Now, first thing we need to do is get our little screw covers off of here. And you can get a little screwdriver. Sometimes I use a pick. There you go. You can get it right up in there in the side. And these things will pop off. There we go. And we have 3 screws up here. And there's 1, 2, and we got to get that other cover off. So let me remove those. And then the next thing we do, we have it's like a plastic screw here. You just twist and turn 90 degrees. Let me see if I can do that on camera. There we go. And then that will come loose. And then we have another one of those right there. And we can push down an emergency brake cable. And let's see if we can do this one on camera. You push and you twist, and there you go. Those are like twist locks. So let me go ahead and get this panel off, and we'll remove the cruise control module. All right, got that panel down, and this is pretty cool. I don't think this has ever been removed. I could tell from just the way it looks under here and how that panel came off. So that's kind of cool. So see if we can get this thing out of here. You got to grab this little vent right here and kind of pull it down and out of there. And you can kind of pull this forward. There we go. Okay, we just laid our panel over there. Look, all the original insulation, everything is still under there. It's excellent condition. Keep in mind, I haven't detailed, so there's leaves and stuff under here. And right there, that is our original cruise control module. So to get that out, first we just want to unplug it. Oh, there we go. All right, we unplug that, and then up here, let's see if we can see it. Oh, okay, there it is right there. There's a 10 millimeter, see it back there? A 10 millimeter bolt. And you got to get a wrench that like goes behind the pedal onto that bolt. And let me show you that. Right, over the years, I figured out that this is the exact attachments and size that I need to get behind that pedal and get it out of there. Okay, guys, that's how you get it. So we're back above the steering column. We have a ratchet over here. We're behind the pedal. We're right on that nut back there. There we go. And then you can get that off. Okay, we'll just leave our wrench up in there so we can get this guy down and out of here. There we go. Get our plug out of the way. Okay, there we go. And there's our cruise control module. We can see same part number. This one was manufactured 2 of 84. Yep, 2 of 84. Part number 00154579932. Actually, that's a different part number. Let me go make sure I've got that one. So this one was a late 84. That's 1184. This one, that was a 002 part number. Here's the one we want. 001 part number. Now, guys, these units are identical. They're interchangeable. Not really sure why Mercedes did that. We see this all the time, but those numbers are interchangeable with each other. So you really could put either one in there. All right, we're going to put the exact correct matching part number back in the car. Keep in mind, we're still waiting on the zinc plating to come back, but I've temporarily just set my cruise control module back in here. And you can see this lever actuates, and we've temporarily plugged it back in. So the first thing we want to do before we put our cruise control actuator, before we put our module back in, we want to hook up the Mercedes tool under the dash and test that this works correctly. Okay, here's our genuine Mercedes tempo mat. There's the part number 12658. It looks like that might have used to have been a 0. I don't know, it's worn off, but you guys can try to decipher that part number. And this allows you to test your cruise control stock and your cruise control actuator. So what we want to do is put our key in, and we'll give it accessory power. Now I'm going to move the stock here, and we want to make sure it registers. Down, up, forward, backward. Okay, excellent. Now what we want to do, I'm going to press our actuator button here, and we want to make sure that the actuator moves under the hood. All right, you see our actuator arm right there? There we go. Perfect. I'll move it back. There we go. And we're just going to test it one more time. When the throttle linkage is hooked up, that is a spring-loaded return. Okay, there's our actuator. Perfect. All right, everything checks out good with the actuator. Okay, here's our new module. Let's go ahead. We're going to unscrew that screw there and that screw there and get the other one screwed on. Now we're also going to look and see if this one's ever been rebuilt. No, this one hasn't. I'll show you how you can tell. Okay, let's get that one off of here. And real quick, I'm going to go ahead and attach this one Well, I've got it in the correct orientation. Okay, I'll show you how you can tell if yours has been rebuilt. See the little tab right there and right there? See how those have never been unfolded? You have to unfold those tabs on the front and back in order to slide out the circuit board to fix it. And you can see this one. See the little marks there? We can see it's been bent back. Let me see if I can show you on the other side. There you go. See how that's been crimped and bent back and then rebent back in there again? That's how you know if yours has been rebuilt. So let's go ahead and get this back up in the car. Boom. There we go. We will have a great working cruise control now. All right, let me get the panel, under dash panel back on, and we'll send back our core and move to the next item. And there we go. Everything is back together just like it left the factory. All right, the next thing we want to check is the monovalve insert. So right here, this is called your monovalve assembly. And in here is a little device. It's a plunger. Here's 12 volt power. I went ahead and unplugged it from the 2-prong pin right here. And when you operate your climate control, a little plunger moves up and down and blocks the coolant flow through here or allows it to go into your heater core. And if the boot is ripped in here, then you'll have erratic behavior. You'll have, heat all the time, or your AC will fluctuate from hot to cold. So to get this out and check it, we want to just remove these, there's 4 screws that hold the top down. Peel off our hood gasket right here, and then we can get access behind here to get these little screws out. There's 4 of them. All right, there we go. We'll get that out of the way. And then we can lift our valve up. Get those wires. There we go. Then we can lift out the mono valve. And there we go. Let's go check this on the bench. Okay, guys, here we have the mono valve. Now, let me go ahead and pull it out of here. Set that there. And this one appears to be, we can look at the boot. All right, see how that works when you apply 12 volt power. This plunger goes like that, and it sticks into a hole in the car, and it blocks the coolant flow to the heater core. Now, this boot can rip right there, and it will screw the operation of that up. It won't work anymore. So this one has been in there a little while. You can tell because the little washers are a little crusty here. And actually this one looks like it was still functioning fine. However, it's an old one. So I'm going to go ahead and put a brand new, genuine Bosch mono valve in the car. Guys, these are very expensive. It's like $300 for this module, and you have to track them down. Now this will last for many, many years. And you can see this one's mint condition. Now, I'll show you how this operates. What you have here is your I guess that's electromagnetic coil. See this copper coil wound around there. And we'll put our cover back on right here. And I'm going to put the mono valve, we'll put our new one in here because we're going to use our new one. Like that. And I'm just going to hook up 12 volt power, and we'll show how this operates. So we want to watch the little valve there. There you go. See it? See how it moves in and out? See if I can hold it still. And that's how that works, guys. Before we install it back in the car, this is very important. The orientation of your washers. You have a huge flat washer, and then we have our wavy washer. See, there's a little washer there, but that's our wavy washer. And then you have another smaller flat washer. They have to go in that order. Now, one last thing before you install mono valve back in here, you see there's like our connection point to the power prongs here, and you'll notice there's a notch. See that notch right there? You want that notch to go over there. You don't want it to be sitting like that, because then it's crooked. See, it's not working correctly. It's got that notch has got to go there so it can sit down flat and go like that. That's important. See if I can actually show you guys what's down in there. There you go. See the coolant down there? See how it's wet down there? And we're seeing that hose right there. And that monovalve will slam down in there and block off the flow to that hose. So let's go ahead and set this guy back in here. Let me put the camera down. Okay, get my wires out of the way. I've got everything oriented correctly. Got my washers on there correctly. There we go. All right, there we go. Now let's put our screws back in and attach 12-volt power, and we're done. Now these screws are going into this is like a really hard plastic, like a Bakelite material. So you don't want to crank these down like with all your might. You just want to turn them until it bottoms out and lets the washers and the mono valve insert create a seal. All right, that's it. Now let's plug back in our 12-volt power like that. And let's put our clip back around our wiring harness here. There we go. There we go. Everything is back together, new mono valve. Now let's move to the fuel level sending unit. And that is located back here. Now we have all our original documentation, our books and manuals. Let's take this stuff out. Here we go. Those are our roof bars. So I also want to go ahead and attach the roof bars. I wonder if this is like an original bag they came in. I've never seen this before. I don't think so. Maybe. Sure seems like it. There we go. Look at that, you guys. Those are such amazing condition. Yeah, I think that's the original bag they would have come in. Let's go ahead and get these back up onto the car. Okay, I'll just show you how to attach these roof bars. You basically unscrew the little lock here, right there. And we'll do it on the other side. There we go. Now you got to come in at an angle. There you go. So you can get both of them on there. Scott will, of course, probably remove these again when he details the vehicle, but we'll go ahead and just put them up here. So to access the fuel level sending unit, we have to remove everything back here. Now, wow, check that out. I haven't vacuumed or anything, guys, but that cover has been in here for, I guess, ownership of the vehicle. Look how amazing that carpet is. That totally protected it from any sunlight. That's incredible. I don't think I've ever looked underneath here. Keep in mind, all this gets vacuumed and detailed. We're just not to that stage yet. Wow, that is so awesome condition. So we're just going to go ahead and take this panel out of here. And we'll just set this aside. Guys, I'll tell you right now, it doesn't get any better than that. That's original to the car, and you will never find a nicer one. All right, of course, I want to vacuum all that out, but what we have to do is remove some screws here and here and fold this back, and our fuel level sender is right underneath here. All right, that's just... Okay, let's get this out of here. Wow, guys, that's the first time that's ever been out of the car since it was assembled. And right there, see if you guys can see it. Yeah, check it out. That's how it would have left the factory. So there is our fuel level sending unit right here. Now, I don't know if this one's dirty or not because the fuel gauge is working. Here it is. We're going to unplug it and we'll just set that aside. And now we want to unscrew that, and we can pull out the sending unit. Now what this will also allow us to do is get a flashlight and inspect inside the tank. Okay, we have a socket here. It's like, let's see, 1 13/16. And it's got a nut welded on the top of it. But that's what's going to go down here. We put that around our sending unit. I don't know, guys, this could have been already serviced, but you have to look, because what happens is all the gunk from the diesel over the years will clog up these sending units, and there's a bobber in there, and that bobber won't move anymore, and you'll have the wrong fuel level readings. All right, we're gonna get this out of the car. Okay, there it is. That's just some staining from diesel, but let's see if we can hear it. Oh, it's still moving. Hear it? So we're going to open this up and inspect it and make sure it's clean on the inside. Okay guys, to get these open, there's a little nut down here on the end, and you got to have a notched screwdriver to get it out, because there's a notch in it. There we go. So we'll just unscrew that. Yep, this has never been cleaned. I can tell that's, I'm the first guy to disassemble this. So we expect to find a lot of black gunky stuff in there. Okay guys, we got our cap off the bottom. This is a plate that goes underneath it, and this goes on the bottom. And we pulled out our sending unit. See, there's your bobber. And I can see there's definitely some sludge on here, but you know what? It's not too bad. Like normally these are really globbed up and just nasty. But this one actually was still working great. So you can see there's some sludge down here on the little, see if you can see that. There are the little contact points down there. So let's clean all this up in the parts washer. And all of our wires are intact. You see you have, let's see if you guys can see that. See, there's a wire on top here, a wire on bottom, and then you have this copper wire right here. And you got to be very careful with these. But they're all fully intact, and that looks like it is functioning perfectly. So let's go ahead and clean this up and reassemble. And get any gunk out of our tube. Yeah, see how clean it is down in there now? No gunk at all. Now we want to clean our actual fuel level sender. Do it very delicately. We'll get it up there real good. Yeah, this one's in beautiful condition. That is perfect, guys. And there's no rust or corrosion at all. Sometimes they'll get corrosion right here on the shaft. This one is perfect condition. All right, let's go ahead and get this reassembled. Okay, now for reassembly, go ahead and wipe these guys off. Okay, you see we have a notch right there. That notch lines up with the notch right here. There we go. Slip those together, and then we stick our bottom piece on here. All right, very nice. And let's put on our cap like that, and then put our little nut back on here. And this is ready to go back in the car. All right, guys, there we go. Hear it? Perfectly cleaned out and ready for many, many years of service. Okay, before I put it back in there, we want to inspect inside the tank. And On a wagon, you can see the tank screen. Oh yeah, this one is perfectly clean. That tank screen has no gunk on it at all. I can see right through it. Yeah, very nice. So no reason to take the tank out and boil it over at the radiator shop and reinstall it. This one is perfectly fine. All right, let's put our sending unit back in here. And then before we actually button everything back up here, we want to go check our fuel gauge to make sure it actually works. All right, now let's go check our fuel gauge to make sure it still works correctly. All right, when I looked down in the tank, I could see it had a quarter tank or so of fuel, so our gauge should immediately jump up there. Boom, yeah, there we go. And it's reading exactly where it's supposed to. Okay, next thing I want to do, we want to get this spare out. This is the original spare, the Pirelli. So let's go ahead and take this out. Now, Scott is going to clean this because it does have some brake dust on it. Looks like it's been used. But I'm definitely going to leave the original Pirelli spare on here because it's original to the car. So that's kind of cool. But I want to inspect underneath here because there's a couple of fuel hoses. And we need to make sure they're in good condition. If they're in good condition, you don't need to touch them. But sometimes these can get a little leaky. Oh, there's the original hang tag. Okay, I can see somebody already beat me to it. Yeah, those hoses are immaculate condition. But I can see right there, that's the one sometimes I replace. And I can see someone's already replaced it with a rubber hose. It normally would have been cloth braided. And those are actually beautiful condition. No reason to touch those at all. All right, yeah, there's our antenna and there's our overflow fuel tank. And so always inspect these to see if there's any cracking because these were made out of plastic. And yeah, I don't really know how these operate, but see all our fuel lines going here. I think if the tank gets hot, that's like a vent. Maybe it like overflows into this tank. I'm not really sure how that operates, but these are plastic. And so you look around for any cracking and it's pretty clear that there's no cracking on this one. Yeah, this thing is beautiful original condition, so we don't need to replace that. Now this will get cleaned when it's at Scott's, but check that out. That's the original bunt with the original spare. See, that's the Pirelli, and it has the curb protector, that little bump right there. That's how you know it's original. And that original bunt wheel is in excellent condition. So we're going to go ahead and put this back in the car and button up everything back here. All right, before I reassemble, I just want to clean it in here just a little bit. All right, let's go ahead and put our rubber mat back in. And keep in mind, all this needs to be vacuumed, but we will do that later. And I'm going to go ahead and put all the original service records underneath here, along with our holder for the roof bars. There you go. This was for the roof bars. Put that there. And I think this is books and manuals. There we go. It's a good spot for that. Mission accomplished. All right, looking good. Guys, that's not even vacuumed or detailed yet. This is just a beautiful original Survivor wagon. Check out up here. Look how beautiful that carpet is. It's just amazing. Okay, there's one more thing I noticed that I want to replace back here. Keep in mind, it's still dirty. It hasn't been detailed, but this is the one you always have to clean the most because it gets all the diesel soot. But check that out. There is a little crack right there on the reverse headlight. I have, I think, 3 or 4 new old stock ones. So let's go ahead and replace this. And that's just a lens that can be removed. Oh, look at that, 40 years of dirt. All right. All right, there's the Mercedes part number and the original manufacturer right there, ULO. So that's a real one, guys. There's the Mercedes emblem right there. So let's go ahead and get this on. Now, behind these, there is a gasket on the back, which I have on here. And behind these little screws, I'll show you. You also have a washer. And there we go. That's important. That little washer, that keeps water from getting up in there. So you got to make sure you put it back together correctly. Beautiful. Much better, guys. Old and cracked, new, clean, and not cracked. There we go. That makes the rear taillights perfect. Okay, guys, we're on the home stretch. Tomorrow, the zinc-plated engine compartment components are supposed to come back. And then after that, it goes to alignment, and then to Scott for detailing. And then the wood trim should be back from Madeira, and we will be done with the '84 Orient Red wagon. See you in the next video.